I wish I had some fancy thing to say, like, oh my word, by watching this video, you are going to manifest all of your dreams. Oh my God, your life is just going to get so much better after watching this. But I can't make you that promise. And quite frankly, I don't think anyone can. It's a lot more complicated. And I've realized if I haven't captured your attention by now, you're probably going to skip. My recommendation is to put my voice in 1.75 times speed and just go for a walk. Cook yourself a nice meal, clean up your room a little bit. I don't know, may make you feel better. What I'm about to say is not going to magically change your life, but it may help you feel a little bit better. I think everyone's narcissistic. Notice how I say narcissistic and not narcissist. There's a huge difference between being narcissistic and dealing with someone who actually has NPD, because that is a complete mind fuck. If you've ever been in a relationship or been raised by someone with NPD, not a great experience, in my opinion. But I think society is very narcissistic because we only post the best side of ourselves, and it's so easy to compare yourself with everyone else, thinking everyone else is doing so great. Everyone else has it so great, and I have it awful. These people have no idea what I'm going through. Look at this, look at that. And people can say it's not real all they want. You can hear it a million times. But when you're in a bad place and you pop online for a second and all you're flashed with is beautiful humans and rich humans and people who seemingly have great relationships, you can't, your brain just cannot help but be sad. My biggest recommendation to you is to listen to someone else's story. There are stories all over YouTube. Anything you are going through, anything that you are struggling with, people have been there. People have really been there. And you may think, why would I want to spend my time listening to someone tell me a sad life story? Well, because in modern society, everything is all love, light, joy. Oh my word, I shoot unicorns out my ass. That's not real though. And the darkness is just as important as the light. And you can try to run from it by trying to do all these things to improve your life. But if you don't ever face the dark side of who you are, you're just going to be fighting yourself your entire life. You have to hear other people. And because we learn through other people, when we're listening to other people, you see sides of yourself. And I think the whole world can stand to be a little more empathetic towards one another, listen to one another, really listen, and not just look at the superficial things. I was listening to this one girl's story, and she was sex trafficked her whole life. Her mom would leave her with these untrustworthy people, and bad things would happen, and she was shamed her entire life, felt like the dirt on the ground. And in the society, she grew up in a small town. In this society, everyone thought her mom was this incredible person because her mom was so charming and so great at giving up a perfect little reputation. She started, of course, going out, drinking and stuff with a bunch of people, and found herself in dangerous situations. And when she was in high school, she had a really great boyfriend who really loved her. And she couldn't hug him, kiss him, or do anything like that because it was just so, I don't know. It's different when it's been done one way and then it shifts into a loving atmosphere, I think. But then she'd get really drunk, and the second she was drunk, she wanted to take off all her clothes and be slutty, which no shame to sluts. I think society has a really bad habit of shaming people for it. But that is something I will get more into later. Point is, of course, he couldn't handle that, and they broke up. She ended up meeting this guy at a party who was really freaking old, decades older, and she had just turned 16. And she went over, and he ended up doing crap to her while she was passed out, and she stayed with him because she would rather be there than be with her mom, be back at home. When, of course, it's a small town, so everyone knows everything, and no one actually cares about you. It's just perception is reality, and if you can alter people's perception, people judge so harshly. So at 16, she was living with this dude in his mid-30s. She got pregnant by 17. And then he filed for divorce and told her that the papers that she was signing were divorce. But in actuality, she was signing away all of her custody, and she had no idea. She ended up going away to the military and got into another abusive relationship, saw some awful things. This Afghanistan boy, over there, the adults will give children guns and stuff and go tell them basically, go fuck shit up, hoping that the American military will accidentally shoot them so they can spread propaganda in the villages, saying, look, don't trust these Americans. They killed kids and they enjoy it on purpose, which is not true at all. But, again, perception is reality. It's crazy how deep that is. Anyways, girl was having a rough time, she was bouncing around. And she was still in this really abusive relationship, and she needed to make money to survive, so she did OnlyFans. And then everyone thinks you're a whore. Never judge a person if you don't know their options. Anyways, I was listening to another girl. She was also sexualized her entire life by everyone. She, too, got kicked out very young and didn't have any money, stayed with random people to survive. She ended up doing an OnlyFans. When you're beautiful, it's really a mind fuck. It's a mind fuck. So on one end, she was making a lot of money, but on the other, you become just a trophy that guys want to show off around, and women will think you're a threat, try to make you look bad in front of guys, claim to be your friend, then say a bunch of shit behind your back. You can't trust anyone. I really don't like how society has such a negative connotation to anyone who has done any type of sex work. Stripping, escorting, OnlyFans. It's disgusting. It is actually disgusting. Because I know a lot of people who've done that. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know what they've been through. A lot of them are running from things. They have children, bills to pay. It's just really not great. And then when you start doing that, it's like this downward spiral. If you've been sexualized your entire life because you were beautiful, you can't help that you were born like that. But you walk down the street, it doesn't matter what you're wearing. It doesn't matter how old you are. I mean, you can't be old. It doesn't matter how young you are, I should say. You will be sexualized. You will have people call out to you as if you are not a human being with emotions, with feelings. And, if you've never had love, if you've never received love, it's like, well, I can get money. I can get fucking money and use all of this negativity towards something positive. But then you do it. And everyone knows. And suddenly, that's your only value. You're a whore. You're disgusting. You're filth. You're nothing. There's nothing to you. You are just an outside shell, which is the biggest load of shit I've ever heard. There's so much to you. And now, she's working towards going to law school, becoming a lawyer. And she's scared that her past is going to ruin that opportunity for her because she was stuck in a horrible situation, needed to survive. There's nothing she can do to help how she looks. And she deserves to feel confident too. She deserves to wear something she feels good in. She deserves to do makeup if she likes wearing makeup. Another girl, Her mom was a drug addict and her dad had passed, so she was put up for adoption since the time she was a baby. And her foster family was awful, absolutely atrocious. She was half black, half white. And she was gaslit into them being like, oh yeah, I don't know how you popped out like that. Like, what? Oh, and they didn't know how to do her hair and stuff. And she went to an all-white school, ended up getting seriously assaulted and smashed over the head, had to go to the hospital, got a concussion, so they pulled her out of school and they just never put her back. They were super religious, used religion as a weapon, as fear. Completely, it was like a cult. They isolated her from everything. She wasn't allowed to go anywhere. She wasn't allowed to be out of sight. She was really beaten down. And when you are so isolated, so abused and neglected in that way, you don't know anything because it's a cult. You don't understand anything about the world. And so she, again, got into a bunch of abusive relationships, repeating the cycle. And she deserved love, man. She deserved love. She did not deserve that at all. But you can't take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're so young, you're so confused, you don't understand anything about the world. You don't feel as if you have any options. You don't know what your options are. You don't know anything, and you don't know people, especially when you have a kind heart. You want to see the best in people. You just want to give love, and you so desperately want love to be given back. And this is why I don't believe in kindness. I do believe in kindness. I believe in being kind to yourself. I believe in being kind towards others until they have shown who they are. They mess up once. It is not your responsibility to fix them. It is not your responsibility to help them change, because people are exactly who they are in the present moment. And sometimes people's feelings need to get hurt, or else they will never change. Someone needs to tell them no, because if they've gone through their whole life knowing that there are kind people out there who they can extract every single droplet of kindness until you are a drained up raisin, they will. And if they change in the future, great. Hopefully they meet people in the future that align with them then, and they can experience genuine exchanges. But until then, get out. Get out. This stuff is happening all around you too. People think they hear it on the news and they're like, oh, that's so crazy. That's just so sad. Wow, don't go to the cities. Dude, it's not just in the cities. It's not just a certain area that is affected and everything else is just happy little lions. No, it's in the small towns too. It's in the small towns in the middle of nowhere that no one knows about. It's in the big cities. It's in the suburbs. It's in everywhere. It is everywhere. There is pain and suffering all around you. And no one actually listens. No one actually cares, because we have become narcissistic as a society to think that, oh, poor me, no one knows. But everyone does to an extent. The YouTube channel that I listen to these testimonies, that is seriously incredible, it's called Soft White Underbelly. I love their name. I love their name. So yeah, if you feel like checking it out, because I promise you their stories are so much more impactful than I could ever put into words. You are so blessed if you live in America. I'm not taking away anything you've been through, but the fact of the matter is everyone, not everyone, some people have really boring, shallow, vanilla lives, which good for them, but I don't even, they could never experience joy because they've never even experienced pain. So I just think they go through life in this middle state of just existing, which, I'd take everything I've been through in a heartbeat, because at least I can appreciate things to such a depth, and I'm very grateful for that. But if there are people who are born in countries where they can get executed just because they stole food because they're starving. They can get executed because of their sexual orientation or having sex before marriage. There's wars going on. Masses amounts of poverty. It's breathtaking. In a bad way. I have to clarify that. In a bad way. And they go on these month-long journeys to try to sneak into America, thinking, America, land of the free. We are so rich. We're so great. We're this incredible, shiny, golden paved country where everything is magical. There's no problems. We have so much money to spare. Your life will be great here. You can pull yourself out of the bootstraps and yada, 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 which I think that's kind of on America. That's really kind of on America for caring. America is a narcissistic country for trying to portray this image of themselves as being this incredible place when actuality, people are fighting just to get by here. It's not land of the free, honey bunchkins. I mean, it is to an extent, but I see it all around me. People who seriously are struggling just to pay for food. They are working a job and they've had a hard life, dude. They've had a hard life. I get so mad at hustlers and hustle culture. It's so toxic, in my opinion. It's so toxic. You can't just say to someone, you're a piece of shit if you can't work 40 hours a day on top of your job you already have. Don't you want it badly enough? Don't you want your life to be better? Like, come on. People are complicated and not everyone is capable of doing that. And if they are, they usually have some deep, serious psychological problems there too. And even when they obtain that wealth, they're still even more depressed because they always have to do the next thing and they can never just exist. They can never be grateful. And then they're trying to tell other people that you're a piece of shit if you're not able to do what they do and have material success. What was I talking about again? Hold up. So yeah, if you don't know, there's currently thousands of immigrants, illegal immigrants, who have traveled to America through long passageway journeys and then got dumped off in the most expensive place in all of America. Well, one of the most. I'd say LA is pretty freaking expensive, but New York City, these migrants are living in schools. They literally cleared out the school so American students can't go to school, which I mean, they're not missing much, but then they have all these shelters and these resources. You want to know what the problem with that is? These people are drinking all day, doing all types of drugs all day, completely destroying the premises, utilizing all of our resources that we have, doing absolutely nothing. They bring guns and threaten the people who are literally feeding them and showing them kindness. And this is another thing with kindness. The problem is a lot of Americans, not all, but a lot of Americans are genuinely kind of good-hearted people. And they want to help others and they want to support others. They're not understanding that not everyone is like that. In America, it's this culture, it's this way of being. It's so much deeper than people realize. And if you're not from here, if you're born in a burning house, if you're born into war, that does a number on you. And America has to protect itself because We have enough poverty here as it is. We have enough homeless people on the streets. We're not doing great. America likes to portray this image, but we're not doing too hot. The gap between the elite, the wealthy, the people who are fighting every day just to survive, it gets bigger and bigger every day. Sometimes you just look around and it's like, shit, we may become a developing country. And people are coming here thinking, oh, we're going to get free stuff. We get to just have this great life. When they're going to go through years of getting their paperwork, years of being able, before they can even work, then just to end up in a shoebox in New York. Like, if anything, take them to the small places that have small populations. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no room. We're out of room. Ship them back. It's brutal and it's awful to say that. Trust me, I'm not heartless. I feel for them. I really do. But I was listening to one immigrant who was giving an interview, and his country wasn't great either. He went through the paperwork. He went through that process. He worked his ass off to legally get here. And how is that fair to anyone else? It's not. It's just not. And it's not fair that they weren't born in America. You can't save everyone. You can't save everyone. Especially when you can't even save yourself. I think America needs to do some serious work on breaking down the structures of our society and figuring out some sort of new system, because the education system was developed so long ago. It's so outdated. We have the technology of gods. And we're following a religion that was made thousands and thousands of years ago. And people are definitely corrupting it. The church is definitely loving the fact that they don't have taxes, and they manipulate good-hearted people and push agendas. And what is more terrifying than saying, if you don't follow us, you're going to burn in hell forever? That's pretty fucking scary, man. I believe in God, but I believe everyone can have their own connection with him in their own way. And I think everyone can have their own personal meaning to God, because that just makes more sense. That makes more sense than saying there is one way to do something, and anyone who disagrees, you're getting fucked. That makes no logical sense. None. Because, in my opinion, God, unconditional love, it's just completely accepting people for exactly who they choose to be. Oh, you think you're a piece of shit and you deserve nothing? Well, then you're going to go throughout your entire life being confirmed by the fact that you are a piece of shit and deserve absolutely nothing. You're going to start vibrating at a frequency of love, faith, and just follow your gut. People are going to start seeing that. I don't know if that made sense to anyone, but I felt like saying that. I really don't know what the point of this video is, but I just felt like talking and ranting. And why not? You die soon. So why not? And hopefully, maybe if you can take away one thing, delete fucking TikTok, delete fucking social media. It's killing you. It's actually killing you. It is sucking the life out of your soul. And live. For God, all means. Go outside. Anything. You can do anything. There are opportunities all around you. I promise you. You deserve better. You deserve so much better.